The Phantom Liberty DLC for Cyberpunk adds some amazing free unlocks, but some are missable. So I will tell you how to get them, and yes, you can also get a really cool weaponized spy car. Let's start with the Dezerter shotgun that just wipes out groups with one shot, and if enemies stay alive, they will die from the burning effect. I was also really surprised by how easily it can take care of the elite robot enemies in Ducktown, and if you're able to stand close to some bosses, you will just delete them incredibly fast. Now there is a downside. You can namely set yourself on fire when using this weapon, which will deal some damage over time, although it was not a lot, so not that big of an issue. And actually when using the weapon while low health, you get a movement speed buff and increased mitigation chance, so actually some increased defense instead. So you can easily miss the secret weapon if you don't make the right choices during the Man Who Killed Jason Foreman gig that you find over here on the map. Now I don't want to spoil the mission, and actually don't have to, because you can also get the shotgun without even touching that gig by going to a garage that you find over here in Ducktown. So go there, there's a parking area, go like this, and then the second to last door is the one we want to open with the code 1975. Then bam, you can find the shotgun in a crate, and there are actually some other items that you can grab in this area as well. Now another thing you totally want to get is this amazing weaponized spy car. So instead of using your own weapons, you will now be firing machine guns with laser sights at the front of the vehicle with 50 bullets that will automatically refill when empty. Like this, great for getting rid of cops or blockades, but the Outlaw is of course also really fast, so you can easily get rid of chasing vehicles. The only downside is that the guns are only at the front of the car, so you will have to position yourself. Like, it would have been nice if we could at least switch to our own weapons as well for certain situations. But overall, it's of course a really cool get. And for this, you want to go after these green wheel icons that you maybe already spotted when playing the Phantom Liberty DLC. They show up everywhere, even early on, and then getting into the car, so stealing it, will have El Capitan reach out. That will basically start this brand new activity. So then, after the introduction, you want to do 7 more of these green wheel icon activities, so basically complete 8 in total, and then you will get a job from El Capitan called Baby Let Me Take You. Follow that, and then at the end you will get the Herrera Outlaw Wheeler weaponized car, so a really nice variant of the regular Outlaw car. You can of course buy from the car websites that you can access via computers by looking for this icon on the map. And a nice extra is that by doing these missions for El Capitan, you also get a steep discount when buying a car. Also, when like stealing one car for him, you already get some nice rewards at the end. So it's a really worthwhile activity. But there are more amazing free unlocks you don't want to miss in the Phantom Liberty DLC. We'll go over them. Of course, if you like the video so far, leaving a like would really help me out. And subscribe to not miss the next Cyberpunk video. Now Dennis, you found even more amazing unique weapons, right? So take it away.
Yes, absolutely. With my new unexpected favorite being a very powerful throwing axe. The Agaou has a 30% chance to shock on hit, which already makes it a powerful melee weapon. But thanks to its unique perk, the ranged attacks are even stronger, as a crit triggers a shockwave that also damages nearby enemies. If you plan on using this weapon a lot, I also recommend picking up the juggler skill from the cool tree so you can throw the axe more often. And the style over substance skill has amazing synergy with the Agou's perk, as it allows you to deal guaranteed crits when crouch sprinting, sliding, dashing or dodging. So use that to trigger this powerful shockwave even more often. And you can already grab this weapon very early in the DLC by heading to the Luxor High Wellness Spa fast travel point. Look for the building that says VB Territory and make your way through. And keep your eyes open, as there are a lot of enemies about, but also a relic terminal inside of the building. In order to get the weapon, you will need to take down a boss called Io Zarin, who is located in the big room at the end of the hideout. She moves around a lot, but other than that she's not too challenging, and when you defeat her, you can loot the Agaou from her body. Another powerful weapon you can grab early in the DLC is the Errata. This powerful katana has a 30% chance to ignite enemies, which is already pretty strong, but it's even more powerful thanks to the Errata's unique perk. Because if you hit a burning enemy with this katana, every hit is a guaranteed crit. This even works if you ignite an enemy by different means, like an incendiary grenade for instance, and needless to say, it massively increases your damage output. The Errata also allows you to leap towards a target with heavy attacks to close the distance. which is pretty good, but the Flash and Thunderclap skill from the Reflexes tree unlocks this ability for all blades, so depending on your build, that one might matter less. Now there are multiple ways to get this weapon, the first of which is by buying it from the unique vendor Herald, who is located in the Stadium Marketplace, which you visit very early in the Phantom Liberty DLC and is marked by this icon on the map. Depending on where you are in your general playthrough, he might sell more iconic weapons, as Herald's inventory consists of iconic weapons you missed during the base game's main story. So for instance, the unique Nehan knife you can grab during the early mission The Heist is available here, which we talked about in our 2.0 weapon changes video, which I'll link to in the video description. But yeah, the Errata is another new weapon added with patch 2.0, which can be grabbed during the Disaster Piece main mission for if you are still in the early parts of your base game playthrough. It is located inside of the giant furnace in one of the final rooms you pass through. If your technical ability attribute is at 20, you can also come back after the mission, so go to this location on the map, and then the main door to the furnace room will be locked, but there is a side door you can open with a skill check to still get the weapon. But Phantom Liberty also adds a ton of powerful new ranged weapons to the mix, including this Hawk Assault Rifle. It's a unique variant of the Kyubi, so it's a semi-auto rifle, which makes it perfect for picking off enemies from mid to long ranges. Its unique perk marks an enemy when you hit them with a headshot, which lasts for 15 seconds. Enemies with a mark on them move slower, are unable to use abilities, deal less damage, and are prone to losing their balance. The movement slow is very strong against melee enemies, as they are simply too slow to get in range, and reduced damage is of course nice against any target. You can even swap back and forth to this weapon during a boss fight to keep the debuff applied on the boss while you deal damage with a different weapon. The way you get this one is quite simple, as you simply need to get to the DLC main mission, Lucretia My Reflection, which is very early on. At one point during the mission, you will be back in your hideout, and then next to your stash you can find the Hawk Assault Rifle. If you missed it the first time, you can come back to the hideout at a later moment, which you do by going to the Crest Street fast travel point, take the elevator to the apartments, enter your hideout, and then you can still grab the weapon. This even works after finishing the DLC story, so there's absolutely no rush, but you definitely want to add this one to your arsenal. But there's an even better weapon for debuffing enemies, and that is the Gree-Gree pistol. This is definitely one of the most unique weapons in the game, as every shot has a chance to trigger a random quick hack on an enemy. So while shooting, you might impair an enemy's vision, blow up their grenade, lock them in place, or simply set them on fire. As a tech pistol, it can also be charged to fire full auto. It's definitely not the most practical weapon because of its random nature, but it is a lot of fun as you are constantly triggering status and crowd control effects with an otherwise relatively normal pistol. And it's nice to be able to utilize quick hacks even without the required cyberware slotted. If you want to grab this one, you need an access code first, for which we want to travel to the Luxor High Wellness Spa again. But now we want to head over here to the location of the Treating Symptoms side gig. You don't need to complete the gig, simply make your way to the bottom floor of this central room with the lion statue, then enter this door to swipe the keycard for yourself. And this part is important because after finishing the side gig, you cannot come back here, so this access code is missable. Then you need to progress up to the DLC main mission called The Damned, for which you will visit a voodoo boy called Slider. In his hideout on the top ring of the circle-shaped central room is a door with a skeleton painted on it. If you approach it with the access keys in your inventory, the door will open up and you can grab the pistol from inside. And while you cannot access this hideout before the mission, you can come back after and then get the weapon, as long as you grab the access codes beforehand. So definitely a fun weapon to get, although Jordan, you also said there's an amazing assault rifle that I do not have yet.
Yes, Dennis, this is one of my favorite weapons from the DLC that I've been using a lot throughout my playthrough. It's called the Carmen, and it's just a straight up damage powerhouse with extra headshot damage multiplier and armor penetration, but also increasing your crit chance when focusing on the limbs. Like, this weapon is made for me, as I love to jump and run around, which actually gives you increased weapon handling and damage and bleeding, so you're kind of feeling like a Call of Duty player when using this weapon, and I kind of dig it. You can miss it during the balls to the wall job that you find over here in Dogtown, so in the middle part of the map, where we meet Paco and Babs, and they got into trouble. I won't spoil a very cool part of the mission, But basically, you want to take the inhaler, and then at one point you will have to make a very important choice. Now make sure that you do not frame Yuri, so do not pick the first option because that will lock you out of the assault rifle. I went with the third choice and asked Panem to help these two out. She was okay with it, and then 2 days later I got a call and could pick up the rival at the location where I met Paco and Babs. Now the second option, the run for the hills, is different but will in the end also give you the rifle, so you can also do that. Now if you already did the mission and did not get the rifle, then you can still get it at that black market vendor, but it will set you back a ton of eddies, so it's better to just get it for free. Now subscribe to not miss the next Cyberpunk DLC video. We got a ton planned. Of course, a like would really be awesome, and check out our previous video with some main game weapons that were secretly changed with the recent patch. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.